Thank you, everyone, for sticking here with us. Teofimo Jr. should be back here soon, but while we wait for the new undisputed champ, we have his trainer, his father, the man who 2.5, 3, 4 years ago predicted this, Teofimo Lopez Sr. He's on the stage right now. So again, the raise hand button in the Zoom chat. And we got some questions from the audience, I am sure, as well. So please get in the queue. And our first question comes from Sam Gordon with the Review Journal.
First and foremost, congratulations on the victory. What tactically did you see? What vulnerabilities did you see in Lomachenko tonight that you guys were able to exploit going into the fight?
From the beginning, I had told him, keep your composure. Hit, don't get hit. We got this thing that we call the pyramid, and basically, it's like it goes like into an angle where you could touch the fighter can touch you. When I seen Lomachenko having a hard time with that, I knew that we was gonna win this fight. Right away I found out. I got to give a lot of respect to Lomachenko for taking those big shots, early on into the fight, and he wanted to win. He just couldn't figure out my son. My son was a better man today. We did something that everybody thought we couldn't do. We outboxed him. We gave him a clinic. And I'm just so glad, man, that everything that I said, came into existence.
Keith Idek, you're next.
Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you.
Welcome. Lomachenko came back a little bit in the second half of the fight. He mounted a comeback, and he was much more aggressive in the second half. Was there any concern on your part that he was winning rounds at that point, or did you feel heading down the stretch that you were ahead?
I really didn't see him winning any rounds because to me, my son was hitting with the biggest shots. He was playing dirty in there. He was trying to headbutt him. He headbutted him a lot of times in his eyes, and I was telling him, listen, man, you don't let this guy keep on going because he's gonna end up cutting you. I told him that like around the eighth round, and it came to happen. He got desperate because he knew that he could only win by knockout.
Did you tell your son to, for lack of better words, fight dirty back? Because it seemed like Lomachenko was hitting him on the break and headbutting him and everything. Did you tell him to kind of give it back to him a little bit, or how did you go?
No, I just told him that he had to be tougher, try to keep away from him, stay composed, move around, because he's a great boxer, his whole 170 amateur fights was boxing, and we needed that today. We show the world that my son is not only a puncher, like I said before, we just made the best boxer in the world look like nothing, so we here to stay for a long time. This kid's only 23. We're making history, man. He's the first one to win 4 belts at the 135-pound division and the first one to unify so young.
Thank you, Keith. Next, we go to Kevin Ioli from Yahoo. Kevin, please go ahead.
Teofimo, just curious, in the early part of the fight, Vasiliy wasn't even throwing any punches at all. Do you think that was because of what was coming at him and that he couldn't fire back because the power was too much for him?
No, it was because of the pyramid. Like I said, we could hit you, but you can't hit us. And if you try to get in, you're gonna pay for it. So he couldn't understand that style, and it was too late when he, try to figure it out. Then he just went for broke. That's what I saw in him. He said, what the hell? I don't want to lose. So that's why he started going crazy, going inside with his head under, hitting my son with those shots to the head. With his head, and he was just trying to make the fight dirty, but my son stood composed, and that's what true champions do, and it was an amazing fight. I knew that once we adapted to him, the fight was over.
And I know this isn't your call, but I'm just curious what you think. Where do you want to see Teofimo go next? Do you want to see him try to reel off some runs of defenses in this division, or do you think, that there's other titles? He's a big kid that maybe, have him move up and at some point and chase another championship.
Yeah, he's been. If it wasn't for these people that are helping us now, perfecting athletes, I don't think he would have been able to make the weight so comfortably. I think it's time to move up. I think it's time for him to go and try to get all the belts at the 140-pound division. There's no reason why we have to stay at 135 unless they give us something to want to fight for, So it all depends. But I'd rather him go to 140. He's been suffering at this weight for like 7 years already.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we go to our first Zoom question of the evening. Michael Woods, please go ahead.
Hey, Junior Teofimo Senior, full credit to you. I don't know exactly the history of Nostradamus, but I'm guessing that Nostradamus got a lot of shit when he was saying his stuff and people didn't believe him. So full credit to you. You guys talked a lot of stuff for a lot of years, but you backed every bit of it up. So props to you, man. You're a little bit, Brooklyn style, and it rubs people a certain way, but props to you. I got to ask you, do you think Lomachenko deserves a rematch? If he says, hey, I want to do this again, would you say, yeah, let's give that guy the opportunity to try again?
I mean, if the fight would have been close, maybe, I wore my lucky hat today. I was gonna put the Oni Ramirez hat, my son's friend that had passed away. But I told my son, you know what, I'll put the shirt on and I wanna go in there with my Nostradamus hat. I felt like I think I made the right decision of wearing this hat, because we've been winning a lot of fights like this. I was not nervous at all. I was anxious. I was very anxious the whole day today. I just wanted it to be over with. I just wanted to shut everybody up. And I knew it. My son has always been with me. I know what he could do. I know what he cannot do. So from now on, I just don't want nobody to doubt him no more. He has suffered so much. Like, he never gets what he deserves. Let's see what happens now.
Thank you for that doctoral dissertation, Michael. Next, we go to Sean Zattel.
Hey, Teofimo, congrats for your son, man. Great performance. Did anything surprise you about this fight? I mean, you've called it for a few years now. Anything surprise you tonight?
Of course not. I know what I got. I didn't start it when I said we are gonna beat this guy up. The only thing that I was surprised was he took those shots really good, and I got to give it up to Lomachenko. He's a strong fighter. That's why he's got 2 gold medals, 400 fights. The guy has been there with everybody's style, but he never fought a guy like my son. Out of those 400 and something fights that he had, my son, had the kryptonite for him, and tonight we showed it.
Thank you very much. And next we go to Mike Coppinger from The Athletic.
Congratulations. It's funny, right? Everyone knows you as a guy who's really excitable, and I've never seen you this composed. Are you finding clarity?
Listen, when I got Lomachenko, I don't need to do all that stuff, that nonsense. I wanted him. Once I got him, that's it. It's over. I wanted him in the ring. I wanted the opportunity, and God gave it to me. I knew that. That's why I knew we was gonna be successful, because what we went through to get this fight is almost impossible.
It's been well documented how much you've gone through, how much you've sacrificed, all the turmoil. Is it all worth it now, everything you've sacrificed, to be here at this moment, undisputed lightweight champion?
Man, I'll do it again. I have no regrets. I'm happy to get my son to where we wanted to go. And this is just the beginning. I know my son, he's not content yet. He wants to do better, bigger things. He wants to be pound for pound the best fighter in the world. And he's going to be pound for pound real soon.
And you mentioned 140 pounds. There's a lot of guys at 135 that are close to moving up as well. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, even Gervonta Davis, could be a 140 in the future, I suppose. What do you think is going to be the mega fight for Teofimo Lopez in the future?
All of them. But these guys, they gotta do their thing. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing our thing. We don't go backwards. I told my son, we're not in the sport to go backwards. So these kids, they gotta do their thing, so they could come up to us and step up to the plate. I don't want none of them losing, because those are mega fights.
Hey, but look, you're wearing the hat, Nostradamus. Pick one fight. What is the mega fight in the sport? Teofimo Lopez versus who in a couple of years or next year?
I don't know. Devin Haney. Let's say Devin Haney.
Thank you, Mike. And we go back to our Zoom calls. Marcos Villegas from FightHub TV. Marcos, please go ahead.
Thanks, Evan. Congratulations, Senior. I think all of us that have interacted with you remember you telling us that your son would beat Lomachenko 2-3 years ago. whenever we would see you at the fights. Curious, in terms of the game plan, what previous fights did you see vulnerabilities in Vasiliy Lomachenko with what you were explaining with?
Well, I saw all the fights with Pedraza, Linares, and I saw something with Lomachenko every time he stepped in to the sides. He couldn't do that with my son because my son had him like double stepping back and he couldn't go to that side the whole night. We took that away from him. From the moment that I knew he couldn't do that, I knew that we had him. We just stopped him from doing everything that he's comfortable in there with. He's used to fighting fighters that have their hands up. So it's easier for him to get inside the pocket and do his work. So I was watching a lot of videos. Every time he would jump in, I told my son, you got to hurt him to the body. You got to hurt him to the body. And we stood chasing the body the whole night, And I think that hurt, he was hurt a lot of times. A lot of times he was ready to go. I think my son could have finished him. He decided not to, but I like it because, he gave him a whooping. And that's what we said that we was going to do.
Thank you, Marcos. Just a reminder, anybody wants to ask a question in the Zoom, please use the raise hand mechanism on the Zoom chat, and I will get to as many people as possible. Teofimo Jr. should be joining us soon, but while we wait, we have a couple more questions for the trainer, the father. Hold on one second.
I told you, Kevin, a long time ago. My son was the best in the world. I remember.
Next, we go to Miguel Maravilla. Miguel, please go ahead.
Hey, first of all, Senior, congratulations, man. Was there
Thank
any
you.
concern going in late to the fight? Was there any concern as far as before the scorecards were read, being that Vegas is Vegas?
Yeah, man, but it was a shout out. It was like there was no way we could have got robbed with this fight. Even though they had it 116, 112, one of the cards, I thought that was ridiculous. I think the right score was 119, 110. I could give him that. I think that judge was watching the fight that he was, the fight that we had today. I think that he had the best score, but no, not at all. Not at all. I wasn't.
Okay, next we go back to the press assembled here in the press room. Sam Gordon, Review Journal. Sam, please go ahead when ready.
As clinical of a performance as you guys put forth tonight, was there anything that, moving forward, you think he can build upon or do better? Anything that you thought that, I guess, any mistakes that you felt that were made that you guys can improve on going forward?
Oh, a lot. We got to improve way more. There's a lot of things that he didn't listen to me in there. A lot of stuff that I want him to do more. That's gonna make his fights easier, and we're gonna work on it. Next camp, I'm just gonna. I have to make him do the things that I tell him to do. Because there was times in there that he had him, and I would tell him to shift. That's something that we do to finish the fighter, and he had so many opportunities to do it, but he decided not to. But anyway, I'm happy because he gave this guy a beating. He's gonna feel it tomorrow.
So the score that you thought was the closest, you mean 119, 109 because it was a
Oh,
woman?
it was 109. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 119, 109, but it
Yeah.
was a woman. You said. I just wanted to make sure. Julie
Yeah,
let him remember.
she's the one that got it right. I thought that we were so much ahead in the fight. I mean, going into the 8th round, I told him, yo, you won every round. This guy could only stop you by knocking you out. So just be careful, stay composed. He's gonna try to take you to deep waters. So just be careful. And watch your head because he's trying to hit you with his head. He's trying to, headbutt you. So just be careful. And I told him, you're gonna get cut. This guy's gonna cut you. Let's take him out, man. Take him out. Don't let him do that to you. And it happened. But it's okay. I'm happy. It's the best way we could have won. It's better than knocking this guy out because now the world knows that this kid's the best boxer out there and puncher.
And next we go back to Zoom with Steve Kim. Steve, I know you have something to say to Senior. Steve, please go ahead.
Tio, what's going on?
I told you, baby, the takeover.
Yeah, I have a question, 2 questions. Number one, how much vindication do you feel over this victory?
Man, I'm 100%, man. Vindication. I mean, I started this with my son, with nobody around me. He was a little kid. He was only 4 years old when I started this mission. You know, it took us a long time, 18 years, man, but we're here. I'm so happy. I don't know. I have no words to explain, man. I was walking around and I was like trying to pinch myself, make believe like, am I dreaming, man? Don't wake up. You know, I was so excited. But yeah, man, I feel really happy for accomplishing this, but this is only the beginning.
And Teo, my other question is this. I know the last couple of camps, you guys have gone away to Flemington, New Jersey. And I know your son has said it's more structured. And you guys have your own private camp. It's not like when I visited you guys last summer, which was a little bit crazy. In your view, how much of a difference has that made going to camp where he wants to be and you're both comfortable?
Oh man, Flemington is beautiful. All dog boxing, you know, is just, it's an amazing gym, amazing people, Bill, everybody there, the whole staff, Heidi, his wife, everybody was taking care of us, making sure that everything was there, equipment, everything clean, sanitized. So we had a great camp, and we might do it again over there. You never know.
All right, Teo, thanks. By the way, I think you're going to sleep with that WBC belt on tonight. That's the feeling that I'm getting.
Yo,
good night, guys.
Time, man. By time, man. How long did I wait for this, Everybody about Papachenko here, Papachenko there. I told everybody, all that stuff that they do, man, is just to hype everybody up, I already knew it. So, as long as I know it, I don't care who says what, But now, I just want Papachenko to go back to Ukraine and give his son a couple more dance lessons.
Thanks, guys.
We got a couple more for senior. And we move to Cameron Wolf from ESPN.com. Cameron, please go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man? I had a question. I mean, there was a lot said in the Blood and Sweat series about your relationship with Teo. He got emotional at one point. I wanted to get your view on maybe that and what your relationship with him is and maybe how this win could help that.
Well, listen, man, if it would have been the other way around, it would have been Lomachenko and his father, nobody would have said nothing. I mean, everybody's not going to be in love with each other, every day. People have problems, and me and my son fixed these problems. I'm over here with him and his wife. Everybody's getting along. I got to do it for him because this is all about him. It's not about nobody else. So, I got to man up and I got to take my responsibilities to love what he loves, and make him be happy. He deserves it. He went through a lot to get here with me, and that's the only way to do it. You got to stay focused. And he did that today. And of course not, man. Me and my son love each other. That's my baby.
Thank you, Cameron. And we go to Adriana Jimenez. Adriana, please go ahead.
Hola, Teofimo, te puedo preguntar en español. Después
Sí, claro.
de varios años, hay un campeón centroamericano, tu hijo poniendo en alto el nombre del boxeo latinoamericano, centroamericano. ¿Cómo te sientes acerca de eso y sobre todo sobre esa historia de vida que tienen ustedes después de que tú llegaste a Estados Unidos?
Bueno, bien orgulloso porque él fue el primer campeón mundial de Honduras al ganar la IBF. Y yo sabía que nos faltaba más cosas que hacer y por eso vinimos a buscar todos los cinturones con el mejor boxeador del mundo y le enseñamos a la gente que mi hijo es el mejor. Siempre me gusta la competición, siempre me gusta pelear con los mejores. Me gusta que mi hijo pelee con los mejores siempre y por eso es que nosotros estamos haciendo cosas grandes para toda Latinoamérica, especialmente para Honduras. Y claro que sí, vienen cosas bien grandes, vienen muchas esperanzas. ¿Cuántos muchachos ahora mismo en Honduras quisieran ser como mi hijo? Estamos abriendo las puertas para muchas personas y vamos a trabajar en eso, vamos a trabajar en abrir escuelas de boxeo en Honduras, ayudar a la juventud que está perdida allá. Yo estoy más que seguro que debe existir otro Teofimo Lopez en Honduras.
Sorry, that was Andrea Yanez. And next is Adriana Jimenez. Adriana, go ahead.
Thank you. Senior, first of all, congratulations on making history tonight. You know, tonight we saw a different side of your son, a side that we're not used to seeing that often. Can you talk a little bit about that and you know, what does that say about him to be able to keep that mental focus from the beginning to the end?
Well, he's been saying this for the longest. He's been saying I was a boxer before I was even a puncher. So, you know, I told him, you know, the most beautiful thing will be if you box the shit out of this guy. You know, sorry for my language, but I told him, you know, it will be amazing. If you don't knock him out and you just box him and beat him in every round, it will be amazing. I mean, I could not believe the punches this guy was taking. I mean, it's just, I hope he's okay, you know, tomorrow. Because those were devastating punches. Anybody else would have been down on the floor.
Thank you, Adriana. I've just been told that. Thank you, guys. I've just been told that Teofimo Lopez is about a minute or two away. Kevin.
Clarify something you said, Teofimo. You were talking about the headbutts. Do you think he was using that as a tactic, or do you think it was because of the difference in height of the fighters?
Of course not. He does that, and that's why we told the officials before the fight to watch him, because I peeped that in the Linares fights and almost all the fights, and he usually does that when he's a little bit frustrated, you know. And he was gunning for it. He was gunning for it. He wanted to cut him. He wanted to shirt. You know, he wanted to make him uncomfortable in there, but it didn't work. My son always stays composed, so I knew that wasn't working. I didn't even get nervous, you know. But there was some times there that he would walk in and start throwing his little patty cake punches, and it got me a little bit worried with my son, you know, because I didn't know whether he was going to be able to absorb all those headbutts, you know, and that's why I wanted him to take him out in the earlier rounds, because I told him, listen, this guy's gonna cut you. I don't want him to cut you. I don't want him to hurt you with the headbutts. And we just, you know, he stood composed, man, the whole fight, and we outclassed this guy. You know, that's why I don't want no rematch. There's no rematch clause, you know, for the same reason. Everybody thought he was gonna win.
Thank you, Kevin. I've just been told Teofimo's about a minute away. So, Senior, come on down. You can, when Junior arrives, you can come back on the stage to share the moment with your son. So just everybody wait around a couple of minutes, and the new undisputed lightweight champion of the world.
I just wanna say thank you for, you know, for being here for me and my son, you know, especially my son. And there's bigger things to come, you know, and I really like the support. Thank you for everything, guys.